All right, what's going on, everybody? It's the Arty 84 Show live here from quarantine in our unique locations from all around the United States tonight. As always, to the right of me, we have Adam the Mallets. And to my direct left, we have Ryan Glover. And Ryan, would you like to introduce our first guest tonight?
Of course I would. With less than a year an adult, Latina honey Carmela is definitely leaving her mark with her exotic look, bodacious body, and flexibility. Fans know if Carmela's name is on a scene, they'll enjoy it. She puts her body and soul into all her scenes and has received the moniker of Queen of Sweaty Sex.
Ooh. Right. Right. Your introduction is amazing.
That's an intro.
Thank you.
You should be sponsored by ShamWow.
And all the way from Dallas, Texas, we have a very funny comedian, Chris Timoney, joining the show for probably the 5th to 6th time, I think, at this point, over the course of the years.
Yes. Hello. How you doing, guys? Good to see you again.
Same
Carmela,
here.
nice to meet you. Ryan, how we doing? Everyone in www.facebook.com land, hello.
So we're spread literally across the United States tonight. Carmela, you're in Las Vegas, or you're LA, you said, right?
LA. Yep, LA.
And Chris, obviously, in Dallas, and the boys up there isolated in Massachusetts. So I would say we're winning the COVID game up here.
We're losing down here. We've lost.
So what's it like? We'll start with you, Carmela, too. What's it like in California during these times? What's going on in LA right now? How much different is compared to every day? 7 months ago.
Well, okay, so a couple months ago, there's a lot more cars on the road. I am starting to see some people back on the road, but everything for the most part is shut down. There's very few restaurants that are open. You can kind of sit outside, and you could go to the beach and social distance yourself. For the most part, LA is canceled right now.
Yeah. Shut down.
It's not exist. Yeah, everyone needs to stay home. We need to get rid of this stuff. We need to give ourselves time to heal and move forward.
Absolutely. Yeah. And good, Chris, down in Dallas, I mean, Texas was one of the first states to just say, hey, everybody come here and have a good time. We're ready to grow. And it doesn't look like that was such a good idea in the beginning.
Yeah, so like Dallas is kind of a very modern city, like very, I'll use the term northeastern thinking, so this, but the rest of the state and the governor and the lieutenant governor, they're playing a different game or not on a different page. So they just said, screw it, open, whatever. And then, things got crazy. So, but for the most part, even before the mask mandate happened, like finally like 2 weeks ago here or something, most people in my area, in the north of Dallas, like 20 minutes, everyone's wearing masks to go to the grocery store, whatever, there's not really, I've been to one bar in like 5 months. So
I was in Vegas last weekend and I needed some supplies for set, and I did a little bit of shopping. I was surprised to see the mall was open, and when the mall was open, I walked in, it was like a zombie land for a little while, and it slowly started to fill up with people, and just as soon as it filled up, it shut down. They closed all the stores, and it was Sunday, so they were closing early anyways, but people are starting to, I think they're tired of being stuck indoors.
Oh, I absolutely agree. And, everyone's, like I said, I gave the government 10 weeks to figure it out. And after that, I opened my front door and walked outside for the first time in 2.5 months. Did that about a month ago because you only get to stay locked up for so long. And especially, like you said, you're being in Vegas. What the hell is that like at like 50, like not a full 100%? You can't go to bars, right? You can gamble. That's about it. And if you don't like to gamble,
you can't go to bars. You can gamble. Oddly enough, you could buy liquor, but there are no bars open. So like if you stay at the hotels and you want to order a drink, you'd have to order a drink from whatever restaurants they have that are open. It's weird. It's just a very strange situation. People are acting over there as if it's not really going on, if there's no pandemic. So, they do enforce wearing the mask through the casinos. But I've seen people just as quickly and easily wear it like half over their face, or, have it just looped around their ears and hanging from their chin.
Right. What about other off the strip Vegas? Like, are dispensaries open? Is there stuff open downtown? Is
All right.
Downtown
so
open?
This is the funniest thing. In Vegas, they shut down dispensaries for like a day, from what I heard. but then they opened them right back up. They didn't even consider doing that in LA because there would be, oh my gosh, there would be so much turmoil. Oh man, if you can't let people go outside, at least let them be high. They're gonna be stuck inside with their families all day. Let them be high. They're gonna be stuck watching. I mean, if you're gonna be, I mean, you could always watch porn all day. That works too.
Good for your industry, you know. You get the views up, you know. I think a lot of people were doing that anyways. There was a statistic that said that those websites have been during the day were like up like phenomenally more than they usually are because people are like, you know, working for a couple hours and, you know, sneaking away.
Yeah. And they're working from home a lot. Okay, so it's interesting that you mentioned that because there are certain trends. Before I got into the adult entertainment, I was in marketing and advertising for a little while, and I worked with some major brands, so I got some really good experience under my belt. And one of the things about the internet is it doesn't really sleep, it doesn't really turn off. Just as one hemisphere goes to sleep, another one wakes up. So interestingly enough, though, there's a certain bell curve that you see. Early mornings, guys want to get a nut. They're really horny. Mid-afternoons, believe it or not, that's a thing. Guys are apparently, even before COVID, they were going off out of their desk, going to the bathroom and happy whacking it.
Stressed out at work.
Yeah, creaming that Twinkie.
My boss.
Yeah, then they'd get out of work and they'd be stuck in traffic and they'd beat one out, or they would
oh my
watch
god,
it,
that's a little much. Yeah.
They may or may not. They may just like look through, like scrolling through their feeds, like, oh, that's hot. I'm gonna watch that later. I'm gonna look at that, or you know, that's where they're checking their messages and whatnot. And then you see a trend spike again, you know.
They're prepping themselves for when they get home. They're like,
exactly.
They want to have everything queued up so you can go home and boom, get right to it.
Well, and it's interesting that you say that. The way that men typically watch it is they'll put up several windows of things that they want to watch, and they'll just click through what they want to watch without having to stop, and so that way they don't have to like take their hands off of their eye off the prize.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's like this show.
Oh, gotta get this done.
Oh yeah, it's like, you know, like you have a stock trader. He's got all the monitors up, watching everything.
Yes. You got ass, you got titties, you got everything.
I'm 2 screens away from that. See,
and if you got Carmela Clutch on your screen, you need 2 screens just for each ass cheek.
You know, and you can program like, okay, we're going this clip for 45 seconds. I'm going to get up here. Then we're gonna watch.
We got a little squirt there.
Yeah, then we're gonna watch Carmela fix this sink with this dude right here, and then.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah. Oh look, she's fixing that sink so well.
You're not exactly practicing social distancing there, Carmela, are you?
Listen here.
You could
wait a minute, Carmela.
Yes.
That's a good crazy question. Brings up a great question. So, have you shot any scenes since this pandemic?
So when the initial pandemic struck and there was a total industry shutdown, the only thing that we were allowed to shoot with were the people in our immediate homes. So luckily enough for me, I live at a model house. So the people in my household are porn stars.
I've always wanted to deliver pizza to a place like that.
Oh, and you should, because you walk out pretty much naked. I swear, every time I order DoorDash, the guy's like, "Here you go, can I come?" And I'm like, there are so many answers to that.
That's a good version in the comedy condo that the comedians have to stay in. It's just a dirty, dirty place.
It's not. Most model houses are not the best places, no. but ours is really nice, and I enjoy it. And you know, but neither here nor there. So I did get to work a lot of solos. I worked with a couple of the talents that were in my home. And then they lifted the ban, and now we're able to perform with other people so long as we get our STI testing as well as our COVID testing. So I have, for example, I got booked for a scene in Vegas August 20th.
Ooh, mazel tov.
Thank you. And I have to actually go get tested for it the 19th or the 18th. You know, I have to be tested a day or two before, so you have a certain amount of time that's
Okay.
allocated for each test. So, I mean, it's an imperfect system, but it is a system that we're working towards to ensure the safety of the cast and crew, because ultimately we love what we do and we want to keep doing it for you.
It sounds like one of the better systems around compared to
well,
everywhere else.
Sounds
Shit.
better than Major League Baseball. I mean, they can't figure it out, but you guys figure it out. So that's been any
I
instance
mean,
ever have you
it'd
reported yet?
be pretty cool. I'm going to start selling, ad space behind me, and then you can go ahead and purchase a cutout and be in the background of my porns now, just like baseball.
Oh, I would totally do that. You kidding me?
Yeah. Absolutely.
You were saying
Just
that
give
you
me
live
the
in a
link.
house. You were saying that you live in a house with all other porn stars, but my question: are any of them like in relationships? Like, how does that work? Like, are they allowed over to visit? If some of them are, like, what's the code for that? Like,
Okay, so I am currently dating a woman in the industry.
Okay.
She comes over whenever she'd like. If I was dating a man, it would be a little bit more iffy, depending, I wouldn't just bring over anyone to my home. This would be somebody that, like, especially because he's a guy and there's nothing but women that live there, they would have to stay in the common areas. Luckily for me, I have a private room, so I don't have to worry about having a roommate or anything like that. Think of it kind of like dorm style almost.
Yeah, it's like a college suite. It sounds like,
It's very fun. It's so much fun. I really do love this lifestyle that I live.
It sounds like an MTV reality show in the making. That's what it sounds like.
But way better.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I've been saying this forever. I'm like, Netflix needs to go ahead and just give us a show and follow us around for a while, because we can actually talk about sex on Netflix. And
so Carmela, that actually leads me to something I just wanted to ask you. Was the one thing
Sure.
I wanted to see if you had seen. So have you seen, and is the house you live in and how you, like, your guys, schedule, work schedule and lifestyle, whatever in the industry, have you ever seen the documentary on Netflix, Hot Girls Wanted?
I have. I saw that just as I was entering the industry.
And I know that takes place in Miami, but
where I'm from, yes.
Yeah, so is this is that pretty, true to real life, that documentary, or that you've experienced and heard, or is it similar to how you guys are living?
It is one facet of a very large industry. The industry is huge and yet so small. It's like a high school. There were some truths to that video, but I think that they were only showing a small portion or one story, or one type of story rather. I know many more stories of not just perseverance but success. Porn saved several of my friends' lives. It has provided them financial opportunity to rid themselves of bad situations, of bad people, get themselves out of debt, help their families, help their friends, especially during these times. I am in a position with a college degree. I was not making enough money to help my family and friends. But now I had just a good friend of mine hit me up the other day, and she wasn't asking for help, but she needed some help. And I was able to provide that for her in a way that I wouldn't have been able to do that before. I am treated with more respect and courtesy in this industry, in this field these days, now more so than when I worked for large major athletic teams in South Florida, and I'll leave it at that.
Oh, okay.
So and with a college degree, I'm saying this, and I'm my own boss. I make my own hours.
So what made you get into it? Like, were you always interested in it, or was it you had an opportunity? Hey, let me try it. Like,
I have always been a sexual person, a sexual being. I've always found the art of seduction to be really enticing and interesting. I would study different cultures and what was considered seductive and attractive and appealing to them. And I just remember my very first fantasy. I was 7 years old. Seven.
Yeah.
I was not a victim of any sort. I'm not a victim of any sort. So I can't, were you? No, I wasn't. I didn't have a funny uncle. None of that. I simply, I'm here. There we go. I'm simply a sexual being. And that fantasy, was a pretty intense one for a 7-year-old to have. So I've just always been like that.
Were there any
And
Muppets in that fantasy? Or?
no, the only socks were like shoved into my mouth.
For a 7-year-old, that's pretty extreme because like you really don't.
It was consensual non-consent. So yeah, like BDSM, rape fantasy, stuff like that, gangbang, and that was the fantasy I had at 7.
And how did you know that? Had you seen something, or had you?
No, I didn't come to realize this until much later on. I had the fantasy, and I knew what I was playing in my head, but I didn't understand the gravity. I thought something was wrong with me. I honestly thought something was wrong with me for so much of my life. I didn't understand that I was just a sexual person.
Yeah.
There were other indicators that, made me realize, like, having reached puberty, I went to go see a doctor, a female doctor, and a lady doctor. And the lady doctor told me that when she checked my hormone panels, that I have extra high levels of estrogen and testosterone. At the time, I had what would be considered the peak of a woman's sexual performance or sexual height, between 30 and 35 years old. I had that at the age 11, 12.
Holy
so
stuff.
that's why I look the way I look.
No kidding. This was very popular.
Thank you.
Very popular in high school, I bet.
So wait, you were 11?
No, I
when
wasn't. I was a nerd. No one liked me.
Yeah.
I was a chubby nerd.
Yeah.
Most stars are like that. They're introverts, it seems like.
I was a chubby nerd. I was the chubby nerd that you had no idea was thinking the freaky nastiest things.
You were 11 when you had that first gangbang fantasy?
No, I was 7 when I had that first gangbang fantasy.
Oh my God.
I was 11 when I realized that I
Wow.
What happens in
I just had my first gangbang dream last month.
Oh, really? Oh, well,
I was just waiting in line talking about the PGA, waiting our turn, and then it ended before I got there. I didn't even get in.
Welcome to the show.
Well, the line was huge. It was like 30 people deep. And, guys were taking their time. So in the dream, I never made it. In real life, I probably lasted like 2 minutes.
That's okay. I mean, it's a gangbang. There's plenty of people there, so.
Well, then because you figure I figured I'd be out by then. I don't want to pay another hour parking. I'm like, well, I've been waiting so long. Let me get in and do this. Thank you. This has been great.
You don't want to be the last one. You don't want to be the last one.
Where did the name Clutch come from?
Because you like to drive a stick? Is it because you like to ride a stick? That's what I was saying.
Oh yeah, I love.
Hey, don't give me that look, young lady.
It's because she's always got the ball at the end of a basketball game.
Like LeBron.
Well, actually, it was more of like the idea of like whenever something was about to go wrong, someone lost something, or they needed help with something, or they needed some information. I kind of just knew what it was that they were looking for, what they needed, how to fix the situation. I always came in clutch, even if it was something that randomly was falling off a table. I would just randomly catch it, and it would happen so frequently while I was around this group of people who were content creators, that they started calling me Clutch Parker, because hey, Miss Parker, that type of like your body is ba ba boom. So I was like, yay, okay. But it turns out that it's a nickname used for a basketball player already. So they were like, what about Carmela? You are like caramel and sweet and spicy. And I was like, okay, cool. But my demographic, my fans can't spell it. So we're going to simplify that to Carmela. And that's how you get Carmela Clutch.
Now, when you're doing scenes, like, are there times you're like, I hate this position? Like, are there positions that like you don't like or you prefer over others? And like, are there things that you won't do also?
The questionnaire, Philip Pryor.
I love almost all positions I've ever tried. I love them. I love them. But I do have some favorites of mine. So
an interactive show.
Yes, an interactive show. See, you get an arch too.
Gotcha.
So this one.
So the people,
I'm in.
So the people listening to the podcast, Adam, would you like to describe what you're seeing here?
Well, you're talking, so I can't. Carmela has to talk because the camera goes back to her.
Okay, I'm just gonna. I'll say a couple of things here. My back is
nice arch here. It's quite a nice, lovely lady hump going on there.
Thank you. But so yeah, that one happens to be one of my favorites. But
okay.
Yeah, the cool thing about porn, I was just saying this weekend. It has opened so many doors about what I like sexually. It's crazy. I didn't know that I like foot worship. Up until this weekend, I had done it a couple times, but I really like it. I enjoyed it. I had a great time.
You too. The last person we talked to said they liked feet too, and I am like always been.
I don't like feet. That's the thing. I don't normally.
Do now.
I have an insecurity about my foot, so I didn't think I would like my feet being played with, and I really enjoyed it.
So crazy, like, because feet to me, it's harmless, whatever. To each their own, like I always say. But like feet to me, I've always found kind of like they're wrapped in a cloth that's in a shoe all day. I don't want that thing near me.
Well, okay,
But, like,
so
many
in
people-
all fairness, before my foot scene, I made sure that I had gotten a fresh pedicure. My feet
Alright.
were brand new, clean, like nice and washed and everything. And he was really into feet, like really into feet. And it was for a company that we ended up doing the trade for, Freak Mob, and that, I mean, it was great. I was surprised that I came as hard as I did, and that I got as turned on as I did.
Like,
you know,
what's a scene that you feel like is your best scene? Like, this is the scene I gave my all. Like, if you had to pick a favorite out of all your work right now, your career ends today. No, I'm just saying, hypothetically, if your career was to end
You
today,
saw my
you'd be
face, I
like,
went,
this was the best scene I did. What
Like
would it
Tom
be?
Brady versus the Atlanta Falcons. That's you want to sum it up.
I haven't gotten to that scene yet. I haven't gotten to that
Oh.
scene yet.
She
I
sounds
like
like
that.
Tom Brady. She's
I like
clutch.
that.
She hasn't achieved the highest level of her career.
Shooting
I mean,
for the stars. I like it.
I got a lot. I got some things to do, but I will say this: every time I walk onto set, and I leave off of set that day, I leave a piece of my soul in a sense of this. I really, when I say that, I mean this. I put everything I have into my scenes, and I think that's where I got the term "the Queen of Sweaty Sex." Was not because yes, I do sweat, but I'm human, but because I really am passionate. I find something that's attractive about my partner that I really truly focus on, and I'm in it every second, every drop of sweat, every squirt. The passion is in there. The feeling is in there. You can almost feel it, like you're in the room with me. And I think that that's what the fans are really looking forward to, and they want to see. So as I progress and grow as a performer, every performance I give is better and better and better. So what's my milestone performance? It hasn't happened yet because I'm still doing the basic boy, girl. You know what? I'll probably be one of those people that takes on 30 and a gangbang, and it's a full triple penetration, hair pulling, like squirting, and arcs of squirt and jizz everywhere, and cover me in bukkake, like
So on the other side of that, is that how you know it's when it's time to hang it up and for it to end? It's like,
hell no,
another day at the office. Like another day at the office. I'm getting pounded and I hate it today. Yeah.
That's what I love about this is there's always ways to get creative with it. And just as when I reach my pinnacle of my career is when I may decide, okay, well, you know what? Maybe I'll step behind the camera. I'll start fostering the new talent and teaching someone else to become the next whatever they are. I don't want them to be the next me, but the next them.
Yeah, like a mentor.
Awesome.
So you say you say you currently have a girl. Have you always been into girls, or is this something you kind of just dabbled in, or is it kind of?
I've always been bisexual. I just didn't know that I was bisexual, or rather, I repressed it a lot when I was younger. Okay. But I've always been interested in women. Going back now as an adult, watching some of the movies I watched, I'm there like, that's why I watched Wild Things and just rewatched it over and over again. Yeah. Great movie. Great couple of scenes there in the middle.
I think when I was in ninth grade that came out, and I think I wore the VHS out of that scene. They're in the pool together.
Yes.
That's the only thing I watched that movie. I just over and over and over.
One of the best sex scenes of cinema.
I think the sequel sucked. They did a sequel, right?
I think
years
so.
later.
Yeah, but it wasn't related to the first one, I don't think.
They were much
older because they didn't have any of the original characters.
Right.
They were Wild Things. They were stockbrokers.
Hey, Carmela, you were talking. You showed us the position that you like and everything. I was super curious. Have you ever done? Have you ever Eiffel Towered? Been Eiffel Towered?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
It's on my OnlyFans. That was King the Deer and Stretch. They Eiffel Towered me. Let's see. I have another one with Rome Major and Gabriel Trigger. They Eiffel Towered me while I was tied up in bondage.
Wow.
Yeah.
Chris is getting all excited over
Oh, that's awesome. For some reason, that's like the funniest sex position that I like to say out loud.
Yeah.
And like sometimes you say
But
it.
some of the guys don't want to smack hands. They're like,
Well, that's the thing. And so like, you know, when I'm texting, like
iPods.
when I'm like group texting with my buddies and like, you know, one of us is texting, oh, did you see whatever movie, that chick, whatever? And then we joke, oh, dude, let's Eiffel Tower or whatever, you know, some stupid stuff. But it's a
like
funny position to say.
That was like a
and
mythical move.
It, but it's not, you know, it's not common. It's not like it's I don't think there's an EiffelTower.com.
No.
Yeah.
No, but you can definitely look up. You could always search up, you know, Eiffel Towering or boy
The
girl.
best of.
Or compilation. Yeah, then it might pop up and you might just get those repeatedly.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
The woman you're in a relationship, with, is she also in the industry?
She is also in the industry.
Yes. I knew. It seems like a lot of everybody, the few people we've talked to in the industry, they seem to date also other people within the industry, which I suppose makes things a little easier.
Yeah, it's difficult to date what we would call a civilian. It's hard for them to understand. It's hard for them to understand, oh, how come you don't make that noise with me? Or how come you didn't say that with me? Oh, God, I just thought of it at the moment. You've never done that position. They told me to do it. I'm like,
let's order a pizza. What do you mean?
Or I come home and, I want to do it. No, babe, I just finished walking off the set. I'm tired. Can I get in the shower? Can I just relax a little bit? Like, they don't understand that you don't always want to have sex all the time. I do, but even still, sometimes I'm tired, sometimes I'm just like, okay, well, can you just take care of that right now then? Cause I'm not, but I find that, I've only dated a little bit, very little. My focus has been on work. I really haven't been focused on dating, and this person just kind of came into my life and we just kind of clicked, but we've decided that we keep it, we don't keep it exclusive. It's kind of open. Everyone has their own terms, so to speak. Yeah. And it's about communication, like with any relationship, it's communication. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And plus now it just makes it that much more fun when we decide to like tackle a big talent or a guy or something. Nice. Sometimes we'll tag team someone, and that'll be fun.
The bars are open against in Vegas. They'd be all set. Then you can go on the wow.
Oh, we already did. We took down Rico Strong. He took us down. He put us to sleep, but that's okay.
One of your fans is watching us right now, Alex Wallace. Big fan of the show. Also a big fan of you is watching. He says, "What's up?" And
oh, hey.
He's probably going to go to one of the websites that you're on after the show and probably have 5 minutes for himself.
Oh yeah, whatever creams your Twinkie, baby.
Hopefully puts the kid to sleep first.
Yeah, right. What's that?
Or at least pops on 30 minutes of Dora.
With Sesame Street. Well, that's what you get the different screens. You do the different screens. It's like, what is one of those screens? Dora.
Tell him. I guess I could just let him know. Listen, one of my scenes is about, like, the complete scene is about the length of a kid's show. So
yeah,
pop that sucker in, put him away for a while.
There you go.
Take care of yourself.
Well, Alex, if you're listening, there is your advice for the night. Dora Explorer, you can time it just right, plan your whole afternoon.
I got the question, how exactly do you get into the industry? Like let's say somebody walked
Adam's
up
been trying
for
years. He's been
yeah. What?
I've been filming for years.
I always mess with people when they get this question. Okay, so I always joke around and I'm like, you got to visit the porn land, which is the Valley, and visit the magical porn wizard, and he pops you on the head with a dildo and says, "Woo, you're in porn." But no,
that easy.
No, it is very challenging for men to get into the industry, especially because, but once they do get in, their longevity seems to be much longer than the average woman's career if they decide to stay in. It's like one giant high school or big kids club. You gotta know someone, and you gotta have the talent, the raw talent, the look. I guess I would go with the raw talent. And you have to know the right people, and you have to be very, very selective and strategic about who you work with, when you work with them, why you work with them, how you work with them. First thing you can do, first thing is get tested. We get tested every 2 weeks. I've been tested 3 times this month alone, which is more than the average person, I think.
Oh, you have to.
And they're, yeah, of course. We actually, amongst my group of friends, we were talking about it. We're like, if any one of us got sick, the whole group, the whole industry in a matter of months would probably get sick, just because the whole industry being the way it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Because everyone's just meeting up with each other. You're constantly in the same,
Right. We're always, and some people have their don'ts. They have things that they don't do. Like some male talents, they don't kiss because they're in relationships of their own. So, or it's not their thing. They don't like kissing a bunch of people. Or it's too intimate. I know a lot of females that don't do that too. So you figure out what works for you and make it work for you. You just kind of live your life like that. There are a lot of sacrifices that come with this lifestyle. So people who think that they can just set up their camera and have sex in front of their camera and they're doing what I'm doing. As much as I'd love to say, yeah, no.
Doesn't work out very well.
Their lighting sucks.
Yeah. And even the angles. The angles are all about the angles.
More than the lighting or the angles, it's the faces, the patterns. Like it's not often that you can find someone who can look directly into the lens of the camera and squirt or come or say some nasty things.
I would imagine. It's like anything else too. I mean, you're an actress essentially, right?
Yeah.
So everyone. I
literally had a cameraman during one of my more rough scenes put the camera right in my face, literally this close to my face, and say, "Wave hi to mommy and daddy." And I'm there like, they're like, "Say hi, daddy," and they like kept smacking me and they're saying, "Say hi, daddy, say hi, daddy." And I'm like, "Hi, dad." I had to look in the camera and just, "Hi, daddy." And they wanted a reaction. They wanted me to cry, but I wasn't gonna give them that. That wasn't gonna happen. But you have to be an actress. You have to be a performer. You have to be willing to just turn it on.
That happens to me at work sometimes. I got a camera in my face to tell me.
Do you think it's a certain constitution? Because like you see these scenes and stuff, and everything like on like sites like facial abuse, and like the girls like at the end are like balled up in the end crying and stuff and everything. Do you think like and stuff and everything, like certain girls like get into it thinking that it's going to be easy? And
I think it's important that everyone do their research. I have worked for facial abuse twice. Both times I had a fantastic time on set and I didn't have any issues. However, the night before, I paid and watched everything on their site that I could. Every second, I heard every joke, every slander, everything that they could throw because I wanted to be prepared. Yeah. I also knew that I knew from enough people who had been on there that anything that I had said during the interview could be used during the scene. So I knew not to mention my family too much. They didn't even know about my family for all they knew, I was an orphan. So I did that on purpose because I knew that as a performer, being my very first scene, that was my very first scene. It was going to be intense and I didn't want to mentally not be there. I wanted to be focused on the moment and enjoy it because I do like rough sex and I do enjoy this industry as a whole. I really enjoy shooting. It's fun. I'm glad that we're back to it.
It just took me away. That's
awesome.
I don't know what to say.
So wait, as like a pump it sounds like before you do a scene, you're kind of like mentally pumping yourself up, right?
Fuck yeah.
Is it more like right? I know. So is it?
This is pumping himself up right now.
But is your pump up speech more like, yeah, I can't wait for this guy to fuck me, and I can't wait to get this guy off, or is it, I want that cock insanely bad right now?
It depends on the person, on the talent I'm working with. Sometimes it's someone that I've already worked with before, so I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna have so much fun with him. Mm-hmm. Or sometimes it's like, it just depends on the vibe. It depends on the chemistry. Sometimes I really want nothing more than to devour him and drain every last drop from him. And sometimes awesome. Wow. I want him to rip me into pieces, and like I won't be happy until he does. And so I'm still whole right now and I'm not happy because I'm not ripped into pieces. But
that's awesome. So what happens if you're on set and say like, all right, like I feel like a woman, if she's not excited, she can at least hide it a little bit longer. A guy, he's gonna go down. Like he's gonna lose his heart on, right? So what happens like in those times where like a guy just can't, you just have to wait it out, you slip a Viagra to him? Like what happens? Like
some of them, sometimes they'll take something to before the scene. Sometimes they'll excuse themselves and take their phone and just, you know, get whatever it takes for them to get there. With some of my co-stars, I really know most of my co-stars well, at least professionally speaking, and I feel comfortable enough to help them get to that point if I need to, but that doesn't necessarily happen all the time, and that's not expected, nor is it ever demanded, or like I said, it's never expected. It should never be expected. He's a performer, I'm a performer. The way that I come in and I have to be well hydrated and prepared for the scene, he does too. And if it means that it's hard for him to get there, I'm more than happy to help, but I'm also not going to destroy my body physically in doing so. It hasn't happened to me, but there have been cases where, you know, girls will be like, oh yeah, you know, it took him forever and now my lips are all broken and I have, you know, a scene tomorrow and I can't do that. I'm not going to ever let it get to that point. At that point, I'd rather give you a break, a water break, a smoke break, whatever you need. You need to call your girlfriend and talk to her for a minute. You know, you could have a discussion with God. You need to talk to your penis for a minute. That's cool. Whatever you need to do, I'll talk to your penis for you.
What's usually the time limit they give you guys to film it? Because obviously, if there's some technical difficulties and you have to, you know, kind of get yourself back to where you need to be. Like, at what point does the director say, you know what, maybe we'll just cut this and we'll work on this tomorrow, or we'll try to piece this together?
Well, they'll always try and complete the scene. If they have to scrap the scene, it's pretty bad. It's a bad thing if they got to scrap the scene. There's usually like a cancellation, and there's paperwork, and no one likes paperwork. Like everyone just likes, you know,
absolutely
nuts. So
I do all my sex paperwork way before I have sex.
Absolutely, you gotta get those.
You should always do your paperwork first because you need to check IDs.
Morning, I always check ID when I'm having sex. You know,
have the NDA.
Right about when she's about to climb on, I'm like, wait a minute, let me see that ID one more time.
Yeah, do you mind holding it right here? Do some bunny ears. Hold it right there for me.
Can you take it out of the wallet? Can you put it
between your breasts?
Can you put it between your breasts? That's a good one. I need to ID this, and you're gonna put it right there on your tits.
Oh, can you use that? Can you use that line in your next scene somehow?
I'll do. Yeah. You want to see my ID? I'll just like put it there.
Can you work in Timoney as well? Somehow get that in there and kind of like a little Easter egg to it when you're next up.
Can I get a writing credit? I don't even need to be paid. Just give me a writing credit if you say the word.
Okay, got you.
I sure as hell don't know people's age anymore. I remember me and Arty went for a drink a couple weeks ago, and there were these girls that were right in front of his Jeep, and they're like, oh, we're going to go to bar. And I'm like, oh, they go to dance class. No, they meant like an actual bar. I thought they were like 15 years old. Remember that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, because you figure you could drink right now. If you were born 1999, you can drink. You know, just like what all of us were doing in 1999.
Oh, God, I feel old.
Blows your mind when you put that into concept. It's like,
it's crazy. I feel so old. No.
IDs are a plus. You always want an ID before you get yourself.
No, I got ID'd everywhere in Vegas. I was like, really? Come on, I'm older than you.
It's good though, right? It's nice to be ID'd. It makes people.
It is. No, it is. It definitely is. I think I just get annoyed sometimes. I'm just like, I just put it away. You just saw him check my. Fine.
Yeah.
Or like I'll be sitting at the casino and you know like they'll come around. The security will come around. They'll check my ID and then. About 20 minutes later, another one will come around and check my ID, and then about 20 minutes later, another. And I'm just like, all right, you know what? This is how I lose my ID.
They could be just flirting with you. You know what I mean? I've used that move many a times. You know what I mean? Hey, what's your ID? Then you get all their information. Then you can search them on Facebook. So that's
facts. Maybe. Hope not. I really hope not, because that's my actual ID, not my. Like I'd rather them Google my name, my stage name.
So has anyone ever like seen you in public and been like, hey, are you Carmela? Like,
yeah, I've been recognized once or twice before. The first time it really threw me off. And I asked the guys, like, can I get a picture with you? I was like, dude, can I get a picture with you? He's like, why? And I'm like, you're the first person to ever ask me for a picture. So
what's that like? Is it like off guy? Like, are you with people who, I mean, so I guess I should rewind a little bit. does everyone in your life know you're in the industry? So if you're out to say with a cousin or
I am out. I'm out. I've been outed to my family and friends, so everyone knows what I do. Even their families know what I do. So I was out with another male talent, and I think that was what made it so easy for them to identify me. Is that this male talent looks, he's big. He's a big guy. He looks like a big bodybuilder. And he looked over at me and he's like, "I know you," and I'm like, "No, I'm sorry. I don't think we've met. I'm not from here." And it didn't even occur to me like they might actually be a fan. No, your name is Carmela. No, wait, you changed it. It's Carmela. I'm like, oh crap, what? They're like, "You're here for Urban X." I'm like, yeah, that's me. I'm here. What? Huh?
It'd be
I
very.
was so excited.
There's a lot of people that know a lot of information about people, so it's not like people do their research, and it's kind of
crazy. Yeah. I get asked all the time, "How old are you?" And then people will be like, "She's this old, and her birthday is in a week." I'm like, "Yeah, thanks." That part.
Is that weird to you, or did you just get used to it over time? I mean, eventually.
It's still weird to me. It's still weird to me. Not in a bad way. It's just one of those like, people know my name.
Yeah.
It's still one of those like, huh? But
so have you gone to like do you do like the conventions, like the industry conventions?
I started off doing some of the conventions. AVNs was a big one. I did XBiz in Miami, but unfortunately most of them have been canceled because of COVID.
Yeah.
So I haven't, and I joined at a very strange time. People who joined the industry in 2020 are really at a disadvantage right this second because, the whole shutdown. But I joined a couple months before in late 2019.
I was gonna say,
holy shit, she's 40.
Wow, that's a long.
She's 40. Cut her mic.
That's mean.
She had a fake ID.
Actually, I turned 32 in a week.
Me too.
But, no, really, I turned 32 in a week.
Me too.
but yeah, I started at late in 2019, and luckily I was able to build up a small fan base first. I really want conventions to start back up because I really want to meet my fans. I just don't want anyone.
I've always wanted to go to one of those.
It's fun. It's so much fun. AVNs is amazing.
Yeah.
It's so much energy and sexuality, and everybody's so free and open and body positive, and it's amazing. It really is.
Our fans like, "Oh, I just watched you 69 some dude at the hotel on my phone." Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes.
I was gonna say, do fans come up to you and be like, "I really loved you at this particular moment in this typical video"? Like they know the pinpoint of what.
I have this look apparently that I make when I'm really like into it. It's like this look in my eyes that it just is pretty much like, "Yeah, motherfucker, anything goes."
Oh, wow.
"Yeah, you want to spit on my face? Go for it. Pull my hair? Yeah, I like it. Let's do more." Like it's that look of like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just I have some freeze frames of it, but
what percentage would you say, like when you're moaning, right, and actually like really enjoying it though, like what percentage is you really moaning and what percentage is you just kind of hamming it up for the film? I'm sure some of that for maybe even other actresses or other people in the industry, I'm sure it's they kind of dial it up a bit and it's not real. But for yourself, like what would you say it is?
Adam, is that question for me or Ryan?
I'm sorry. I'd say about a good 98% of it is real. I'm really moaning because I'm really taking it. Wow. And I'm really enjoying it. I've always been a vocal person.
You know what they say, if you enjoy your job, you never worked a day in your life.
Oh, this is true. Except for when you put in work.
That's true.
Yeah.
Goes hand in hand.
But yeah, I feel like I'm monopolizing the conversation. I'm sorry, guys.
No, that's fine. We're just very inquisitive. We have a lot of questions. Are you a sports fan? So you said you kind of briefly touched on some kind of connection to sports in East Florida, and so are you naturally a sports fan growing up, or?
Well, I like I like watching basketball. I like sports. I just don't like playing them because I'm not particularly good at them. But I'm an active person. I like basketball. I like watching basketball.
What
I
was
like
your team
baseball.
growing up? Was it the Heat or was it?
It was the Heat.
Heat?
It
Yeah.
was the Heat. It was the Heat.
I mean, you're in that age bracket, a little younger than us. That 06 Heat. That was Antoine Walker and
Yep.
Dwayne Wade.
Oh,
The
those
Flash,
guys.
Dwayne
Right?
Wade.
Yeah. So I mean, that was a big year down in Miami. I've been to a couple games down in Miami, but
Well, the games for the Heat, there's just the energy, like the
Yeah.
city itself. Everyone there has so much energy. Everyone is so alive. Just that place, like
well,
the vibe, the cold, all the different cultures add to it and create more than just a basketball experience. It's like it's really fun.
have you come across any athletes that recognized you, or are you in situations where you're in the same place that any big celebrity or athlete?
When I lived in Miami, I was so new to porn that they didn't really pay any attention to me or any mind.
Okay.
When I worked for certain athletic companies, I met several athletes, several gentlemen. They were most of them were very nice and courteous, but they never gave me a second look. I'm pretty sure today they watch.
I bet they're in the bubble.
Or I've at
now
least heard of my name maybe before.
Oh, they know it. They're in the bubble because they can't do anything else other than ride a gondola around Disney World. So they're sitting there and they're cruising through right now because there's really nothing you can do in the bubble. Play basketball and peruse, if you will. Which is kind of funny because it all comes around. They're probably saying, like, I think that girl looks really familiar. Where did we run into her? I swear we were the same place for her. That's funny. Do you miss Miami at all? Being in LA, being on now it's East Coast, West Coast, it's a completely different world.
Yeah, it's a completely different world. I'm from Miami, and Miami is very similar to LA in a lot of ways, but completely different as far as the people, the culture, the food, everything. It's similar as far as climate goes, maybe like weather, but that's about it.
I guess
I love it out here.
Yeah. Would you ever go back to Miami, or would you? I'm sure you visit.
To visit.
Yeah, not to
visit.
Yeah.
I don't know
Smart.
if I don't know if I.
That's weird.
I think I'm gonna stay my happy ass in LA.
Yeah. I mean, people either love LA or they hate LA. Like I'm not a big fan of LA. I'm more of a fan of Miami if I had to pick between the two. But I mean, some people that say the complete opposite. It's just.
But you know, you know what it is. I grew up in Miami, and I it's not like I open the door and there's a beach. You know, I live 45 minutes to an hour away from the beach when I lived in Miami. And even still, like, it's just the same thing of being, 30 years of growing up in the same places, seeing the same people, doing the same things over and over and over again. You're just like, another Friday night and we're stopping off here to go pick up White Claw. Wow, really? Yeah. No, I'm tired of this. So I think I'm just tired of Miami. Also, I never really experienced it from the tourist aspect.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So Arty, if it's up and running as normal with fans and everything, since you're a Miami guy, will you be at the NHL All-Star Game in late January?
I would love to. It's one of the few All-Star games I haven't been to. It's the NHL one, and I just find it so weird. NHL in Miami, it just blows my mind. Hockey. I went to a Panthers game down in Florida once to see the Bruins play. And it's hockey in Florida. It's like I just can't wrap my mind around it. I don't know if it's like 80 degrees out and you just really don't put two and two together, but they love it down there. Tampa Bay Lightning. They
see, for me, it's the humidity that kills me. The humidity is what absolutely destroys me. I can deal with the heat. It's walking outside and immediately feeling sticky and like I can't breathe. Like inhaling a bottle of water. I'd rather no.
Welcome to Massachusetts in the summertime. I would say the humidity up here at some points is worse than Florida, to be honest with you.
It gets bad up there. Yeah.
Really?
You can't breathe. Like, for example, today, the humidity is so thick that when you go outside, you'd feel like you'd rather be in Florida, just down there. It just, I don't know what it is about up here, but it's unbelievable. We're experiencing right now for the next week or two. We'll be in hell, wishing it was cold, and then it'll snow, and then we'll be all pissy and wishing it was nice out again. So
that's where we're lucky, Arty, because it's only for like a couple months out of the year. Like when Florida, it's like all the time. I think there needs to be a study done on like long-term exposure to humidity in the brain, because like Florida has the dumbest, as we've seen, the dumbest crime If there's a man fighting like traffic with a samurai sword, it happened in Florida. Like Florida just has the dumbest
what about the guy that
crime.
ate some other guy's face?
That's right.
There you go.
What was he on?
Down the street from my school. I was in class at the time. I literally was walking out of class, and it happened maybe 100 yards from the door of my school. It was,
What was he on,
really,
crystal
really
meth or
frightening.
something?
But yeah, if there's a crazy ass crime, it's probably taking place.
What was he on, Ryan?
Bath salts.
Yeah, bath salts.
Bath salts. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Have you witnessed anything crazy in Florida when you were down there? When you were living, like some hardcore crazy Florida?
Like someone twerking on the top of a car in the middle of the highway?
Yeah, that would qualify.
Because that
yeah.
happened.
Have you seen that? Yes. Okay.
Because that happened.
That's how you know you're in Florida.
That's how you know you're in Florida. It's really fucking. I feel like the heat and humidity just does something to people.
I knew a guy who was from Florida, and he said his entire life he just basically didn't want to be the Florida man that you read about in the newspaper. Like, Florida man found, where his wife's underwear on in the middle of I-95. You don't want to be that man. It's very tough. It's I guess it's a challenge when you grow up down there, and with that in mind, I can see why you wanted to get out of that place because I think it's a little fucking crazy down there.
True.
It's crazy. It's just, I like LA. The weather's moderate. The people are friendly. The only thing is I cannot for the life of me find some good coffee.
Really?
Oh,
or like my good Caribbean food. There's certain Caribbean staples that I miss. And I just found a great Jamaican place. But I haven't been able to find like a good Puerto Rican Cuban cuisine place.
Adam's losing his shit because you said coffee's so slow.
No, the way you said it slowly, like I haven't been able to find some good. It almost sounded like you were gonna say cock.
What did you think?
When you said coffee, you just said it really slow, so I was like, what?
Wait a minute.
You thought I was gonna say I couldn't find some good.
Yeah, because you said it so slow, it sounded like you were gonna say cock.
Well, that's why she's Vegas. It's easier.
Nasty. That's because you're nasty. That's why. Now I know you're gonna be the one that's gonna be looking up my stuff later.
In LA, what does she live out by
send me
LA?
a message.
I'm already looking it up right
There
now.
it is. It's on his other screen. Dual screen on us. There you go.
No.
Yeah. Well, all right. So we're pretty much getting to the close here. So Carmela, what do you plug in? What's new going on? What you want people to go visit? Tell the world.
So I am actually go visit my OnlyFans. I'm always on there. I'm uploading daily. I have daily content on there. You can message me. You can get customs on there. I do a lot more fan interactions on there than any other platform. You definitely want to check out my many vids very soon. I'm dropping the Luna Star, Pressure, and myself threesome, as well as the Rico Strong and Cali Caliente threesome. And then, guys, I'm going to be coming up. It's my birthday in a week. So I am telling everyone, please buy me a birthday gift from my wish list because I'll be using all of those toys and lingerie during my birthday weekend shoot. So
happy birthday. I also heard you had a branded clutch face mask.
Yes, I have those. I just got them back in stock and I have them for sale too. So you guys can always reach out to me and grab them and I'll send you guys them. Just let me know. Give me the information so I can send them out.
That sounds like a plan. I like that idea. There you go. Then we always staying safe, right?
Yes, of course.
All right. Hey, Chris, we didn't really get much into the comedy. You still doing comedy down there in Dallas?
No one's doing comedy anywhere. No, I haven't been. I was doing like my game show, Medium Stakes. I was doing it around Boston area, but I mean, nothing. Can't it's so I've just been doing stuff on Instagram. I started, I've been as you've seen on the Packy, I was doing a lot of sports betting articles up there. So so I got back. Golf was the first sport back, and I was bored as hell. So I'm like, let me watch this. I normally watch the Masters and stuff, but not like every weekend. But there was nothing else on, so I started watching. I got into it, and I'm like, all right, let me gamble a little bit here. Let me check out, and so it's been fun. So I've been doing that. So on Instagram, actually, I'll post it tonight. I've been doing these like little segments, like was it legitimate long shot? I analyze the tournament a little bit, give some spreads, give some guys to bet on, whatever. So that's on Timoney Grip on Instagram.
There you go. Follow them.
And just hanging real. I mean, I got nothing to do. My work industry's dead, so I'm just hanging out. That's it. Now I'm gonna hang out and watch Carmela's life. Now I'm gonna hang out, watch a little Carmela clutch, feed that into the daily schedule. You know,
gonna work the schedule. I'm telling you. Now he's gonna. It's a new relationship now because now he's spoken to you, so it's kind of more of an intimate thing, I would think. Right?
Oh yeah, you know.
Perfect.
I can't wait till the the Eiffel Tower scene comes out.
We gotta shoot our own tower scene.
Oh my god!
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
Oh, there you go.
You might need a stunt double stand-in after the first minute 30.
Look at me. I'm already getting in position.
Oh my god. Me too. Look.
Look, we just need the other one.
Just need another man to look into their eyes.
There we go.
All right, Arty, you got to do the other side.
Now, Ryan, you're in.
We're doing it virtually.
It was social distancing and staying safe.
Yeah, that's social distancing. The only thing that we need now are my masks.
That's right.
I came, so it's a full scene for me.
Oh, okay. Well, as long as you're happy.
You know.
Okay.
Where's my check?
Oh my god.
All right, what do you got going on, my friend, Mr. Glover?
Oh man, check out on the Packy DJ Vlad's interview of Tootsie on his 3 best friends murdering his grandpa and wanting them free is black exploitation. Also, check out on my blog my recent article about 10 Jay-Z bars that made me think he didn't really sell dope. And then on my YouTube channel, check out my interview with Drew Duncombe, the black Trump supporter who was stabbed by an Antifa member. So,
damn. All right, Mr. Mallet, what you got going on, big guy?
As usual, you can check out my my YouTube channel, The Whirlwind Potato, my movie channel, and always thepacky.com. All
right. Well, Chris, Carmela, thank you very much for joining us tonight. It was a pleasure talking to both of you. We had a great time.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. I had such a great time.
Well, Carmela, you're cool.
Yeah,
you're awesome, Carmela. It was good having you. It was very nice to meet you.
Thank you so much. You guys better keep in touch, okay? I better be back on here.
You guys watch.
I had such a great time.
Absolutely. If you guys watch and listen, make sure you subscribe and follow our guests tonight, as well as the Arty 84 Show, thearty84show.com, and search for us on iTunes, Podbean, Spotify, and YouTube. And that will be it for tonight. And we'll see you guys next week. Have a good week, guys, and thank you again. See you later.
Bye. Happy whacking, guys.